now, but the government is at it again, but in a good way before you get too upset. I think both realtors and lenders are going to like the update that we're about to share. Let's skip the pleasantries and get right into it. First, we have to give props where props are due. NAR has put a ton of pressure on Ben Carson and HUD. They want Carson to finalize the FHA condo rule. NAR did a great job gathering 54 senators and 120 members of the House of Representatives to sign a letter stating, in short, the current FHA condo rules hurt both buyers and sellers. More specifically, the current rules and regulations place significant restrictions on the purchase and sale of condominiums, even though they're often the most affordable homeownership options for the first-time homebuyers, small families, and urban and older Americans. Now the fix? Spot condo approvals, reduction in condo certification requirements, and changes to the owner-occupancy ratios. Now, what is a spot condo approval? Well, right now, condo approvals can look a little bit like this. The HOA must submit thorough documentation that details key information such as budgets, insurance, as well as association declarations of covenants and conditions and restrictions, CC&Rs, among other pertinent records. Collecting such information and submitting it to FHA can also be time-consuming and, more importantly, costly, running several hundreds of dollars, and there isn't even a guarantee that the condo in question will even be approved. Now, spot or single unit approvals, on the other hand, allow lenders to close loans on a much quicker basis for individual condo residents, since extensive documentation related to the entire condo project is not needed to be submitted to FHA. Spot or single approvals sound so much better, right? They are. To be clear, this isn't done though, which is why NAR and the Senators and the House of Representatives are pushing so hard on Carson and HUD to do so. We will place the link to the actual letter below if you care to read it. This story should be shared because we all need this to happen. Realtors, lenders, and more importantly, the condo owners that have been negatively impacted and seen their values drop due to limited financing options. Share this now with a condo owner or someone looking to buy a condo. This is good news. And more good news. The White House is pushing to end conservatorship for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. There's an actual plan this time though. We've heard several rumors, but there's never really been any action behind it. But now there is, 132 pages to be exact. And on a side note, apparently they're trying to reform the US Post Office, which is probably pretty good if they're still alive. I'm not even sure. Anyways, back to our industry. If you're crazy enough to read this stuff, like I am, you'll find the deets on page 75, and let me fast forward to the good stuff. Now, I'm gonna state something super obvious that everyone knows, but it's very interesting when you think about it in the perspective that I'm about to give. So here we go. In addition to the GSEs, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, other federal programs provide mortgage support, contributing to a large federal footprint in the housing market. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Federal Housing Administration, FHA, provides mortgage insurance intended to aid borrowers traditionally underserved by the conventional mortgage market, including lower wealth households, minorities, and first-time homebuyers. The Department of Veteran Affairs, VA, and Agriculture, USDA, also administer mortgage insurance programs targeted to veterans and lower-income rural households, respectively. The loans guaranteed by FHA, VA, and USDA are in turn packaged into mortgage-backed securities that are guaranteed by Ginnie Mae, a federal entity operated by HUD. I'm sure I've lost you. Together, loans backed by the GSEs and Ginnie Mae comprised about 70% of mortgages originated in 2017. That's the interesting part when you think about it. As a whole, Fannie, Freddie, HUD, FHA, USDA, VA, Ginnie Mae, we basically just named everyone in the mortgage industry, and that's all ran by the government. I'm not sure that that's awesome. I know that's obvious, but we typically think of each entity in a singular mindset and we forget like that's all ran by the government, all of it. All these entities taken as a whole form a complex and overlapping network of cross-subsidization without clear accountability as to who is paying for and who is receiving housing subsidies. Although the federal role in the housing market has helped to facilitate the availability of the 30-year fixed mortgage, the current system has structural flaws that have also created distortions in home pricing that may actually hinder the goal of home ownership. This reorganization proposal, which includes broad policy and legislation reforms beyond restructuring federal agencies and programs, would increase competition, increase transparency and accountability, align incentives, and reduce overlap and provide more targeted assistance to those in need. Now, I've gone way too long and I probably already lost you, but I think this is good news and I think we should share it with every condo owner and people that own Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac stock, and for people that just think that we should have less government in general. See you guys next week.